Welcome to Walking in Love, the installation of Senior Minister Reverend Jeffrey Kealoha Ryan. Please welcome the licensed religious science practitioners of Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. And now let me introduce you to our visiting ministers, Reverend Amanda Ganley, Reverend Dawn Welsh, Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Inland Empire, Reverend Dr. Robert Wilson, Assistant Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Springs, Reverend Leora Nash, Beyond Sunday Ministry. Oh, of course, Reverend Stacy Hilton, Co-Senior Minister, Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Claire Summerhill, Staff Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. Reverend Pam Cosby Brandman, In Spirit Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Rebecca Venkatraman, Staff Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. Reverend Chaplain Caroline Flanders, Riverside Community Hospital. Reverend Dr. Catherine Economo, Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, Temecula Valley. Reverend Nicole Van Atzinger, Co-Senior Minister, Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Michael Heinley, Co-Senior Minister, Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Irma Forward, Minister, Wake Up Awareness in Reno, Radio Ministry. Reverend Cheryl Bell, Co-Senior Minister, Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living. Sunshine Day, the amazing Reverend, Downey Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend J.T. Kim, Senior Pastor, First United Methodist Church of Riverside. Reverend Jerry Hobby, Spiritual Director of the Spiritual Enlightenment and Truth Focus Ministry. Victoria Bomberry, Staff Minister, CSL Temecula Valley. Reverend Manon Himili, Reverend Retired Ordained Minister from Salem, Oregon at the Woodland Chapel. Pastor Kent Tuhumino, Trinity Lutheran Church. Reverend Bobby Becker, Senior Minister, Namaste Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Leslie Goodwin, Acting Co-Director of New Vision Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Sonia Burns, Staff Minister, Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Laura Hallett, Senior Minister, Center for Spiritual Living, St. George. Reverend Colleen Tanaka, Staff Minister, Oh My God Life Focus Ministry. Reverend Scott Olson, Ahaya Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Kristen Kephart, Spiritual Leader, Center for Spiritual Living, Camarillo. Reverend Carol Lotz, Chaplain, Palliative Care. Reverend Doug Fogelsong, Spiritual Leader, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. Reverend Michelle Ingalls, Senior Minister, One Heart, One Mind, Center for Spiritual Living. Reverend Sharon Hudson, the Field Leader, Centers for Spiritual Living. Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn, Dean, San Diego Campus for Centers for Spiritual Living. And ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, Reverend Jeffrey Kealoha Ryan, Senior Minister, Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. And welcome to the Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. It is such an honor to welcome so many visiting ministers, practitioners, clergy, friends and family, and of course to welcome the members of our own Riverside congregation. We are present here today for a significant new beginning at this spiritual center, and what an honor it is. We're here to install Reverend Jeffrey as our senior minister and spiritual director. And the love that you've all brought, indeed the consciousness, is so deeply felt in this beautiful sanctuary. So thank you for being present. Thank you for just enjoying everything that unfolds this day. And I know absolutely that we are here by divine appointment and all is well. So again, you are all welcome in this place. And now, I would love to invite up the voice of truth and the voices of light. I almost forgot their name. Voices of Truth, Voices of Light choirs. They're going to perform In the Name of Love.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Reverend Kathy Hearn, and I am completely delighted to be here. I have the great honor of being the presiding minister for today's ceremony, and so I join with Allison in welcoming all of you here. It's so great to see you. The installation ceremony, oh yes, and let's just say it again, we're installing Reverend Jeffrey Ryan as the beloved senior minister here at the Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. That's very exciting. The installation ceremony is special to us in our organization. It's a great excuse for a party, so that works in and of itself. But also, we do love that. But also, really important things take place in this ceremony. That first of all, we create sacred time. We create time out of time and out of our usual Saturday activities to come together for a ritual enactment. And one of the things that we're celebrating here is the mystery that across time and space, a minister and a community found each other. And when you think about all of the unfoldments of life, individually and collectively, that had to take place for this to happen, it's quite amazing, isn't it? And so we celebrate that great mystery and the divine right order and action of it. But the other thing that's taking place today that's so important is that vows of dedication and commitment are said. And they will be stated and said and agreed upon by Reverend Jeffrey, by the court council, by the practitioners, by the members of the community, and by the ministerial colleagues. And you know, in Science of Mind, we know and believe in and trust the power of the word. And Ernest Holmes says, the word that we speak is the law of our life. And so when we give our word, we need to keep it. And so you want to be paying attention to what you say today. And agree not only in the words that you say, but in your heart. They're wonderful commitments. Don't be worried, they're wonderful commitments. And the power of that, when we do that and we stand together, it's the very thing that creates a beautiful relationship of love and trust that will undergird every single thing that takes place in this community and truly support you in walking in love together. And so we have much to enjoy today, and to get started, I'll introduce our first two presenters. And to do our invocation, we have Rev. Doug Fogelsong, who is the senior minister of the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas. And he has had a very important role in nurturing Reverend Jeffrey to this point in his life. And so we honor you, Doug, for that. And Reverend Doug will be followed by Reverend Bobby Becker, who's the senior minister of Namaste Center for Spiritual Living, and she will be sharing messages from colleagues. So let's welcome Reverend Doug.
Good afternoon, Reverend Jeffrey, my little chickadee. Thank you for inviting me down to a warmer place than Las Vegas today. It's good to see you all here. I'm going to close my eyes and take a breath and greet this magnificent day that the law of all creation has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And let us know that as we gather in our energy to that place within that lives and moves and has its being as one with all of creation, we do so with a sense of celebration, of welcoming, of gratitude, and of affirmation. We give thanks for this entire celebration, for the reason for it, for all who have gathered, and for this magnificent expression of life known as the Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. An idea in the mind of God who has answered the call. The divine appointment has been kept, and this celebration is an acknowledgement of this divine journey. And so we give thanks. We give thanks for everything that we hear and say and agree to. We give thanks for this gathering, and we give thanks for this minister who has said yes. The perfect time, the perfect place, the perfect situation, and everything in place to bring these people together to move on into their greater yet to be. And so in gratitude for all of this, we say, thank you, God. We let it go into that divine law that already has hold of it, that has said yes since the beginning of time. All is well, we let it be, and together let's say, And so it is.
Good afternoon, happy Saturday, and congratulations to the community here in Riverside, and so blessed to know Reverend Jeffrey and to travel this journey with you. So amazingly honored, so thank you. So I'm here to share some of the comments specifically that have been sent by both ministers and others in the leadership for both Centers for Spiritual Living and other organizations. And I'm honored to share some of the comments that have been sent here in the well wishes. The first one comes from Reverends Barbara and Bob Grabowski in Ketchum, Indiana. Reverend Jeffrey, how we wish we could be there to celebrate with your congregation the gifts you bring to Riverside CSL. What a blessing you are. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and the center. Blessings, Bob and Barbara. From Reverend Dr. Jim Lockhart in Lyon, France. He tried to make it. I'm sure there was a wine tasting in the way somewhere. Richest blessings on the installation of Reverend Jeffrey. The universe is a bit brighter on this day, and the spiritual community called Riverside CSL is opening to an expanded expression of possibility, love, and light to everyone. Dr. Jim and Dr. Dorian. From Reverend Dr. Maxine Kay, CSL Greater Philadelphia. Dear Reverend Jeffrey, congratulations on your installation as Senior Minister of the Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. This will be a most satisfying, challenging, heartwarming, and mind-opening, successful experience. Warm regards, Reverend Dr. Maxine Kay. From Reverend Kathleen Sibley, CSL Prescott, Arizona, and CSL Region 5 Regional Support Coordinator. Dear Jeff, congratulations on the installation. What a great decision on Riverside's part. We agree. I'm sorry I can't be there, but we'll be with you in spirit, Kathleen. From Reverend Lola Wright, the Bodhi Spiritual Center in Chicago. Jeffrey, I'm so sorry to miss this momentous occasion. Knowing you are surrounded by the love, joy, and peace that is most native to you. Love, Lola. From Reverend Marty Bacher, Unity of Charlotte, North Carolina. Jeff, I'm sending you much love and many blessings as you and your community move forward together. Marty. Reverend Mark Anthony Lord, Unity of Naples, Florida. Jeffrey, I'm so happy for you and for Riverside. It was such an honor to walk through the beginning of this with you. I wish I could be there, believe me. Love, Mark Anthony Lord. I may have added that myself at the end there. Reverend Dr. Linda Rapon, Launching Pad, Ashland, Oregon. I will be with you in spirit. So happy for you, Reverend Jeffrey, and so happy for all of you at Riverside CSL. Linda. From Reverend Martha Quintano, Rio Grande CSL, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Reverend Jeff, you rock. You are a blessing to our movement, and I'm happy you're there. Congratulations. I'm not there in person, but I'm definitely with you in spirit. Happy love to you, Martha. And from Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen, Seaside, CSL in Encinitas. Jeffrey, congratulations on your installation. It sounds like a match in heaven. I know everyone who is part of the Riverside community is blessed by your commitment and love. May you all continue to walk in that love throughout your ministry. Christian. Let us thank all those who provided comments today.
I am not surprised. It's like I've known you all of my life. The sweetest place I've ever known, a place to rest, to know I'm not alone. With all these years out on my own, well, I finally found I'm home. And when you hold me in your arms with no malice and no harm, and our hearts are open wide, there's no reason nor want to hide. The sweetest place I've ever known, a place to rest, to know I'm not alone. With all these years out on my own, well, I finally found I'm home. And when I look out on this crowd, and all my eyes can see is all I've ever dreamed. Looking back at me, the sweetest place I've ever known, a place to rest, to know I'm not alone. With all those years out on my own, well, I finally found, I finally found I'm home. I'm home.
That was Reverend Leslie Goodwin, and we will meet her again in just a few moments. Thank you so much, Leslie. So I'd like to introduce the next presenters. By the way, I neglected to say thank you to the choir. So may we honor the choir again. I apologize. Thank you. And so I'll present our next three groups of presenters to you. To do inspirational readings, we have Reverend Laura Hallett, who's the senior minister from CSL St. George, and Reverend Colleen Tanaka, who is also from Awakening Mystics Focus Ministry. To lead our declaration of principles, Reverend Sonia Byrne, who is a new staff minister right here at Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. And she is joined by Reverend Leslie Goodwin, who's the acting co-spiritual director of New Vision CSL. And then to read the Global Vision, Reverend Kristen Kephart, who's Senior Minister from CSL Camarillo, and Reverend Scott Olson, Senior Minister of Ahia CSL. Yeah, it's a big group, right? So let's welcome Reverend Laura and Reverend Colleen.
Thank you. Reverend Jeffrey chose as the theme of his installation, Walking in Love. Walking indicates movement, action. In is used as a function word, indicating purpose. And love is the very nature of God and the very nature of individual being. I have been so blessed to walk this path of spiritual awakening with Reverend Jeffrey. And I have witnessed for him that walking in love is purposeful action that is birthed from the conscious union with God, birthed from the experience of divine love as our very being. I have observed that for Reverend Jeffrey, walking in love is a clear intention birthed from the ongoing relinquishment of the personal self, the practice of deep listening, and the willingness to be taught by God and to be used by God. In his book, Spiritual Liberation, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith writes, "As you mature spiritually, you ask life a different set of questions. Instead of, where can I find love, you ask, how can I radiate love? You transcend wanting to be loved. It's natural to want to be loved, but when you mature, this desire doesn't develop from a needy personality. It shifts from desperately asking, isn't anybody ever going to love me? To, how can I manifest and express more love in my life? Then, from the center of yourself, there will radiate a divine love so potent that you will begin to fall in love with being loving and no longer limit yourself to having to have an object to love. You discover that life itself is infiltrated with love, that love exists in every dimension of your existence, because you no longer depend on love showing up in an external way. You love for the sake of loving. You transcend the personality's definitions and the needs that have been ruling your world. You gain dominion over your existence where love is concerned. Reverend Jeffrey, from the very moment of that first hug, I have witnessed you develop a mystic's heart, to answer the call upon your life, and to continually and sincerely surrender your life to Spirit. You are a beautiful example of what Wayne Teasdale describes in his book, The Mystic Heart. Spiritual maturity is not about pursuing salvation alone. It is about contributing to the salvation or the enlightenment of others. This is love's work and goal, extending to members of all species the willingness and the generosity to serve their needs for meaning, direction, growth, and belonging. Love and compassion translate existentially into an attitude and a practice of availability.
Jeff, it's profoundly meaningful to stand before you today. I love you. And I know that you are blessed and this beloved community is blessed. And having been a close companion on this journey, which has brought you to this point and all of us to this point, I recognize this, of course, as a sacred union and a glorious beginning. In honoring your theme of walking in love, I want to share an idea from one of our most beloved teachers. Joel Goldsmith felt that every one of us were transparencies of love, and that love, in its unconditional and free-flowing nature, looked through the three-dimensional human experience and saw every neighbor, friend, family member, and enemy is the same beautiful expression of God. This is the vision of the mystic. I know that Joel's definition of love will speak to your mystic heart, and I know I've shared this definition with you before in another mystical marriage ceremony. Love is what binds us together. And what is love? Love is the ability of the Christ in me to speak to the Christ in you. Love is the ability of the Christ in me to recognize and bear witness to the Christ in you. Love is the ability to know that God is just as much my life as it is your life. Love is the ability to recognize God's grace is bestowed upon you as well as upon me. Every truth that I know about me is the truth that I know about you, and that is how I love you, by knowing God's truth about you. In the small and yet mighty book, The Gift of Love, I found these words by Joel that are my prayer for you, and I know will make your heart sing. When we recognize the omnipresent love, a whole new dimension of life opens up to us, and we realize, my only desire is to live consciously in thee. All other desires I surrender unto thee. Nothing is greater than my love for thee and my realization of what the government of my love and wisdom means. Here I am, inside myself, alone with thee, tabernacling with thee, living in the kingdom within, and looking only to this deep withinness, this deep pool of contentment within myself for whatever it is that thou hast to impart to me. Deep down within me is thy presence, and in thy presence is fullness of joy. Thy presence within me is infinite love. Where thou art, only love can be expressed. Where thou art, only wisdom can be expressed. Where thou art, only peace can be known. And thou art within me. Together, communing with one another, thou hast made my consciousness thy dwelling place. Thy presence is the activity of divine grace, and thy grace is my sufficiency in all things. I can do all things through thy presence within me, the presence of thine all-embracing love. Thy love is a law of life unto me, and every demand made upon me is fulfilled by thy omnipresent love. If I am healthy, this is evidence of thy presence within me. If I know abundance, this is evidence of thy presence within me. If I have joy, peace, and harmony, these two bear witness to the presence of love within me. If I serve, if I help, if I benefit anyone, this is the testimony to thy love consciously realized. Thy love, I feel it. It is here within me. It goes before me, it walks beside me, behind me, and always looks over my shoulder, showing me the way to go. Held in thy love, I walk uprightly and confidently.
These are the Declaration of Principles, as written by our founder, Ernest Holmes. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God.
We believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding.
We believe that heaven is within us, and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all.
We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God, We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God.
We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thoughts and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of the sick and the control of conditions through the power of this mind.
We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. We believe in our soul, our own spirit, our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God. Thank you.
So this is the global vision, which is the shared vision for where we are headed, and it's shared by all the Centers for Spiritual Living. We envision all people, all beings, and all life as expressions of God.
We see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with his and her highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action.
We envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where each and every person discovers his, her own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works within a world that works for everyone.
We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience.
We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness.
We envision a world where each and every person has enough food, a home, and a sense of belonging, a world of peace and harmony, enfranchisement and justice.
We envision a world in which resources are valued, cared for, and grown, and where there is generous and continuous sharing of these resources.
We envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm.
We envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics.
We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation.
Thank you very much to all of you. That was wonderful. I always sign up again when I hear our guiding principles. It's like 30 years in. 30 plus. So I have the great honor of giving the installation message today. And one of the things that I learned from my predecessor, Reverend Catherine, where are you, Reverend Catherine? There you are. When I became the Dean of the School of Ministry in December of 2013, is that every graduating class is unique. And they're all wonderful. And it is absolutely the truth. When I arrived to be dean, Reverend Jeffrey and his friends were already in training or soon to be on their way, and very accomplished people already. And they had such an interesting energy signature, that's what I will call it. An interesting energy signature that I came to think of them and then later named them the Big Cats. Spiritually conscious, dedicated, committed, funny, friendly, creative, very independent, and with very strong points of view that they did not hesitate to share. And Reverend Jeffrey arrived in ministerial training already a very accomplished speaker and teacher from his past experiences in work, but also because of the environment of nurturing that Reverend Doug provided, where Reverend Jeffrey was able to hone those skills and expand them, and they're the very ones that he is offering to you in this community. And as he and I were speaking the other day, he realized that he has a pattern that could go under the theme of giving back. And that in all cases, he has returned to the institutions or organizations that have nurtured him and served him in order to give back. For example, he returned to the high school that he graduated from in Hawaii and taught there. When he was working for an airline, he was also in the training department. When he became a massage therapist, he ended up training new therapists coming along. And next quarter, the spring quarter, he will be at the San Diego campus teaching a class that we call First Ministry. He will, in essence, be reporting live from this experience that he is having with you here, right? I expect to see the camera and the mic, you know. So giving back is a personal theme. He also has his own personal spiritual covenant. His intentions are to connect deeply, live consciously, love fiercely. And in case you're wondering how he feels about this experience that he's having here with you, you probably don't wonder, but if you do, when I ask him, Jeffrey, how's it going? He just smiles and says, I love it. I love it. And that is wonderful. And I want to take a moment just to acknowledge you, Ed. Behind a great man, there is very often a great man. And we get to see the public, Jeffrey, and you take care of the private. And I just honor you for all you have been through, oh golly, and because of ministerial training and whatever else there may have been, but also what you've been willing to put up with and just the absolute sustaining love and encouragement that you give. And may we take a moment to honor Ed. And when I see Jeffrey, Reverend Jeffrey, and when I contemplate him, the word integration comes up for me, meaning that he feels to be integrated on all the levels of his being, at least as I experience him. And that reminded me of a reading that I don't bring out very often, only when it really applies. It's called The Master in the Art of Living, and I'd like to share it here. The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence in whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he's always doing both. So I know that Reverend Jeffrey, and you know we've honored it here already today, that Reverend Jeffrey and this community have arrived in this relationship of dedication and caring out of a divine order and action, and at just at the perfect moment for the beginning of a new chapter in the story of the center. And the story of the center is long. It formally began in 1942 with the granting of the 16th charter that our organization gave. Were we United Church of Religious Science then, perhaps, or before then? Okay. And so that's a long, rich history, very, very long, very rich. I want to just have us think for a moment. I don't have all of their names, of all of the ministers and practitioners and board members who have served this congregation for such a long time. The ones who are on my heart today are Reverend Lee McNeil Nash, Reverend Darlene Dunning, Allison, and also Francis Drake. Francis, are you here? Hi. I got to experience Francis's leadership at a particular point here. And so, you know, a long, rich history is not necessarily always easy. Is that true? Yes. Not necessarily always easy. My understanding of spiritual centers is that we come together to grow up all over each other. And I didn't write that. A friend of mine said that, a colleague, but I think it's so true. And also, centers are crucibles of transformation. That we come in as we are, we generate friction and love with each other, we rub our rough corners off on each other, and we turn into gold very often. And so, whatever it is that has taken place, you know, it really took all of that to get here. And that's always how it is. It takes all of that to arrive here in this place, and now is really good, isn't it? Now is very, very good. And so this community is walking in love and walking forward in a very powerful way. And I was impressed hearing about how you're evolving and deepening in your relationship with the community through asylum seekers in Adelanto, forming strategic alliances with a variety of groups, bringing the practices of love and inclusion to Riverside. In fact, Reverend Jeffrey said to me, we're going to possibly show what it's like when a non-denominational church offers love and inclusion to this community. And I love that. And so you have a focus statement that's on the wall right over there. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transforming power of love. Should we say it together? Yes. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transforming power of love. And surely your rallying cry, love lives here. Exactly. And so in your presence, I'm reminded of something today. And a number of years ago, 2001 or so, it was time for a re-enchantment process in our organization. That's what Dr. Roger Teal named it. And a group of people got together and brought forth a new organizational model, which was round instead of hierarchical, and also a new vision, the Global Heart Vision, which is how that slipped out for me a little bit earlier. And one of the underpinning ideas of the Global Heart Vision was that each and every center in our organization is a point of light in a vast net of light. If you know the teaching of Indra's net, it reminds me of that. Each center, each focus ministry, each religious scientist, each person doing the work of bringing forth our principles is a point of light in this vast network of light. And that's what you're reminding me of today, because there is a beautiful light as well as a beautiful love that you are generating here and that you will continue doing. And you are calling in and will be calling in more and more people into this center to experience that. At the same time, through the net of interdependent relationships, that love and light are going to be spreading out, not only to impact Riverside and California and the U.S., but truly always all around the world. And so that is what I see and know for you, and I'm excited to hear about the unfoldment of your community as you progress through time. And what I know is that love truly does live here, and that before you is a pathway filled with light, and that Spirit is meeting and guiding and directing every single step that you take, absolutely for the greatest good. And so together we say, and so it is. Thank you very much. All right. And so I'd like to welcome up Reverend Carol Lotz to come sing for us. And Reverend Carol is an amazing chaplain working in palliative care. She does remarkable work. All right, thank you.
How wonderful to be here. So happy. This is a song called I Know God by Denise Rozier. I am one, simple and plain, no superpowers, no famous name, but I stand tall, 'cause I believe something greater has come alight inside of me. I have felt the Spirit stirring in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, we know God. I am one, but I'm not alone. When I'm with you, I am home. Side by side, we find the truth. When the Spirit in me meets the same in you, I have felt this fire burning in my soul, deep in my soul. We will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, I know God, I know God. We all know God. Love you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We're moving now into the formal installation ceremony, and to officiate at the ceremony and to conduct it is a woman I so admire. A little over a year ago or so, she was elected to be the field leader of our organization, and she travels all around taking care of all the centers, and she's really busy. And I said to her today, I just appreciate every call I'm on with her because of her consciousness and her presence and her love. Let's welcome Reverend Sharon Hudson.
My heart is so full. I got tears in my eyes when the choir sang. And of course, all the music's just been leading here, and every word that was spoken, I just want to say thank you. It's a joy to be here with you, Reverend Jeffrey, with your community, with my colleagues, with everyone who is here to celebrate this very, very special time. And so here we go. Ministers, core council, licensed practitioners, congregation and friends, we are gathered here today to install this minister of religious science as the official minister of this member church. Official notification has been received at Golden, Colorado, the Centers for Spiritual Living, that Reverend Jeffrey has been duly chosen to be senior minister and spiritual leader of Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. A minister of religious science acts in a threefold capacity in fulfilling their ministerial office. He serves as minister to the congregation and counselor to all who come to him for his help. He is a spiritual leader of the people, and he has sole charge of the ecclesiastical functions of the center, the conduct of spiritual services, the performance of all ministerial functions, the direction of the youth program, the selection of junior center personnel and curriculum, the pastoral supervision for the ministry of prayer, and the privilege of ministering to the spiritual needs of the community. That's just number one of three. The other two are shorter, I'll be happy to know. He serves as an official and accredited teacher of religious science under the authority of a charter granted to this center by the Leadership Council of the Centers for Spiritual Living, Golden, Colorado. Every minister of religious science must first have received license and recognition as a practitioner before he may be licensed and ordained as a minister. Therefore, he always serves as a practitioner to the needs of people when the call is made. I now present to the core council and this congregation of Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living, Reverend Jeffrey Kealoha Ryan, to be duly installed as official minister of this center. And would you join me? So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Earlier you heard our declaration of principles. Do you accept these principles and promise to adhere to them and make them the basis of your teaching?
I do.
Do you so consecrate yourself to the ministry that you will do your utmost at all times to reflect the Christ within and that in all you think, say, and do?
I do.
Do you so dedicate yourself that you will be constantly aware of the Spirit within all people, and that you will see only the perfect spiritual person, perfect in mind, body, and spirit?
I do.
Do you promise to minister faithfully and lovingly to the people now committed to your charge, and to seek ever to be an example of moderation, patience, and loving kindness?
I do.
May the infinite Spirit, which empowers you to do all these things, grace you with the strength faithfully to perform the same, and to live the vision of this center and the vision of Centers for Spiritual Living. And now I would invite the core council of Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living to stand. Please stand. Members of the Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living, we now present to you those individuals who have been duly elected to serve on your core council. Not only do these council members oversee the business affairs of your center, but their individual and collective consciousness and awareness establishes a consciousness for the entire congregation. And so I ask you, do you promise to follow the light of truth, seeking at all times to be aware of what is right rather than who is right? You may say, I do, if you do. I do. Thank you. And do you accept Reverend Jeffrey as your minister and spiritual leader and teacher?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. Hooray for you. And now I'd like to ask the practitioners of Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living to please stand. I love you. Thank you for your service. Your minister knows and understands the role of a licensed practitioner as part of the ecclesiastical team, establishing and maintaining a continual consciousness of the spiritual vision of the center. You also carry out most of your work in the great and powerful silence. The fruits of this work are manifested in the demonstrations in the lives of yourselves, your clients, and your community. Do you consecrate yourself to this spiritual vision and activity?
I do.
Can you promise that at all times it will be obvious where your commitment is?
I do.
Do you accept Reverend Jeffrey as your minister and spiritual leader and teacher?
I do.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. And now I would like to invite anyone who is a member or friend, considers yourself part of this community, to stand if you would. This is your spiritual home in any way. I love you too. You are the voice of the center. You are the ambassadors of religious science in this community, the ambassadors of our spiritual teaching and that inner wisdom. You are the backbone as the volunteers giving service. Do you promise to uphold and practice the principles of religious science moment by moment? Do you? Good. And do you promise to uphold the vision of this community, this center? If you have a differing opinion, here we go. Do you promise to meditate first, to think secondly, and to speak lastly?
I do.
Good answer.
All right. Do you promise to give your time, talent, and treasure to this beloved activity known as Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living?
I do.
Do you accept Reverend Jeffrey as your minister and spiritual leader and teacher?
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right. And now I would like to ask all the ministers present to please stand. As colleagues, do you promise to give of your friendship, your love, and your spiritual support to this beloved minister?
I do.
That was it. Thank you. You may be seated. All right.
They get off easy.
I did. Here we go. Reverend Jeffrey, through the authority vested in me by Centers for Spiritual Living, Golden, Colorado, and acting on behalf of this congregation, I do install you here and now as minister and spiritual leader of Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living, with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining to your office. Teach, heal, minister to the people. Peace be with you. The peace of God dwells richly in your heart through love and makes your labor fruitful. And so it is. I would now like to invite the practitioners of Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living to come forward.
Thank you.
And do we pray?
I've been wondering what this was because this was not part of the program. So, and those of you who know me, like, what's the program? So, okay. I'm gonna come over here. Oh, wow. Oops. 1 second. There we go. Sembazaru, gifted to Reverend Jeffrey Kealoha Ryan, February 9th, 2019, on the occasion of his installation as senior minister of Riverside CSL from the beloved practitioners. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you'd love it.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming out today. Appreciate it. I think you already know who I am. And it is my distinct honor and joy and pleasure to serve the Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living, where? Love lives here. Yes, love lives here. So I want to first thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for showing up and being the power and the presence of love that each one of you is. And thank you for sharing this love here in this community, the beloved community that we call Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. I want to start by saying thank you to my big cats that are all sitting here in the front row, and big cat adjacents. The adjacents are the ones that were not part of the graduating class, but are still the big cats. So I want to thank each and every one of you first and foremost. Bobby, you were one of the first people that I ever met in ministerial school. So I remember like being on calls with Bobby with Reverend Bobby before we even started school together. And we immediately connected. And so thank you for being here. And thank you for being brave. And thank you for doing the work that you're doing at Namaste that allowed... Okay, Riverside, it was because of what Reverend Bobby was doing at Namaste that allowed me to do what we did here. So, give it up for Reverend Bobby. My prayer partner, Leslie Goodwin, partner in crime. So on those days when I forget who I am, she's the one to remind me that I do not look good in orange. Okay? On a somewhat regular basis. Reverend Sonia, we've been walking this path together now for a bit, and I'm so honored and blessed that you have chosen Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living to hold your letter of call. Reverend Sonia lives in Newfoundland, Canada. She's very dedicated. She will be doing a lot of her work remotely, but it is such a joy to have you with us. And who knows, maybe we'll be seeing more of her. And if you do not know who Reverend Sonia is, you will. Just saying. Okay? Reverend Laura. all the way back in 2008 when I was in a very place of longing. I walked into Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and participated in the Taizé service. And the way, I guess it's they do Taizé, but we're still going to say we. The way we did Taizé and the way we still do Taizé in Greater Las Vegas is when we come forward and we light candles, then on either side, a practitioner is there to give you a hug. And there's a fabulous song that's playing called God is Holding Me. And so I came and I lit the candle, and Reverend Laura just reached her arms out and embraced me and welcomed me, and I knew that I had found my spiritual home at the time. So thank you. And thank you for being my teacher. Thank you for being my mentor. Thank you for being my confidant, my friend, my colleague. Thank you for all of it. Thank you. Reverend Colleen. So as she was saying, I hear the voice of God, and Reverend Carol was singing, I Know God. Well, frequently, God speaks to me with a Canadian accent. And that Canadian accent is Reverend Colleen's. One of her biggest questions to me at one point in my life was, is your resistance greater than your commitment? Oh, yeah, right? Right? So thank you also for being my teacher, my very first teacher, for giving me an opportunity to open out a way, to be broken open, and to release, and just to say, use me. So thank you. Thank you. I love you. Reverend Scott, Reverend Kristen. Scott has been my bunkmate, my roomie through several retreats, and just a wonderful light and a wonderful support. And I'm really grateful that you're here with me walking this path. So you can expect to see, now that he's at Pasadena, you can expect to see some pulpit swaps, because we're just about an hour away. So, he might come and visit you, and I might go visit them, and we'll see what's going on there. Thank you for all your love and support. Reverend Kristen Camarillo. This woman knows principle like nobody other, and she will hold your feet to the fire. She'll drop a truth bomb like nobody's business. So thank you for holding me accountable. Thank you for asking the tough questions. And thank you for being here and supporting me. I love you. Carol, Reverend Carol, we will always have our chocolate kiss. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, it'll be a Sunday morning talk for everybody else. Thank you to, when I first walked through the doors at the School of Spiritual Leadership, for greeting me so warmly and so welcoming me so generously, and giving of your time and your talent, and just supporting me and supporting my wonderful husband. All of you have done that, but I know that you have like a special affinity for my husband, so there you go. Yeah. So, but thank you for being here. Oh, Reverend Doug. Reverend Doug, my first minister in Science of Mind. Back in 2012, when all of us as practitioners were installed, you sang amazing things for us. And you have nurtured us, and you have given us an opportunity to go out and do wonderful things in the world. And most of that, willingly, you've let us go away, let us go out, maybe. When Ed transferred his license here, it's like, oh, okay. But thank you. Thank you for your teaching, thank you for your wisdom, and thank you for the freedom to be and to grow. And thank you. I love you. Reverend Michelle. Reverend Michelle is our regional support coordinator here in this area. And already, I've had to call and reach out for support from Reverend Michelle, and she's always been there ready and willing and gracious to provide it. So Reverend Doug started this journey, and now the torch is being passed, basically, to Reverend Michelle. So thank you for saying yes to the big job. So thank you. Reverend Sharon, thank you for believing in me, and thank you for believing in Bobby, and thank you for believing in this opportunity to do something different, for something to look different. Thank you for your love and support. Without Reverend Sharon's support, also, this would not have happened. So thank you so much, Reverend Sharon, for all that love and support. Oh, and Dr. Kathy. The Queen, yes. You've been through it all with me from the beginning. I remember back at Asilomar when you were still in your cast, way back. We hadn't even officially met yet, and I already knew I loved this woman. And then I was blessed to have the opportunity to have you as my dean, to have you as my mentor, to have you as my friend. It's kind of like one of those things when, like all of a sudden you're friends with Oprah, Like, I'm friends with Dr. Kathy. We can sit on the Soul sofa on Sundays, the Super Soul Sunday together. Thank you. I love you too. Las Vegas, where are you? Let me see you. Woo! Thank you for being here. Thank you for making the drive. I know what it's like. 3.5 hours down if you're doing 80. So, and I know, 3, yeah, there you go. And I know that many of you are turning around and going back. So thank you for coming down and being here. Riverside, it is this family that takes care of me there, that has supported and loved me in Las Vegas, that has allowed me to do the commute for the past year. So Riverside, I would invite you to share the love with Las Vegas. Go ahead. And by the way, our realtor is here. Don't worry, she's working on selling our house. So we're still okay. Hi, Stacy, I love you. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Lynn. Hi, everybody. And my beloved colleagues, thank you so much for being here. Dr. Catherine, thank you for saying yes and bringing me into the fold back in 2012. Thank you for all of your love and support, entering school, and then all the way through till this very moment. So thank you. I would not be here without you either. I would not be here without anyone in this room, to be truly and honest with you all. Hi, Aunt Katie Bug. Aunt Katie Buck's known me since 1997 when we were in flight attendant training together. So, hi, love. Thanks for being here. So this day is a wonderful day. It's a joyous day. But this day is not just about me. All right, it's a little bit about me. But it's not just about me. Right? It's really not just about me. It's about us. Because what have I said, Riverside? Whose community is this? Ours. It's our community. It's not my community, it is our community. And for a year now, we have been walking in love together. And we continue to do so, and we're going to continue to do so. But today marks a new day. Today marks a new chapter in our history. I stand on the shoulders of giants here. Ernest Holmes chose this site for Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living. Yep. As Dr. Kathy mentioned, we were the 16th chartered in 1942 of the Institute of Religious, what was then called the Institute of Religious Science, that then became eventually Centers for Spiritual Living. I stand on the shoulders of giants, of powerful women. I am the first male minister here since the 1980s. Not only do I stand on the shoulders of strong, powerful women, I stand on the shoulders and under the wings of powerful African American women who have led this center that has brought us to this point. And some of them are right here with us today. It truly is an honor and it truly is a great responsibility to take this platform and to be here with all of you. So one of the things that's very important to me, one of my key spiritual practices, and this is one that was introduced to me by Reverend Colleen actually, is the practice of visioning. And visioning, what visioning is it's the opportunity to sit and be quiet and ask questions of Spirit. To open up to Spirit's idea, God's idea, the divine's idea of our highest and best, of our life and of our community. Way back in 2009, when I was sitting in the Essential Ernest Holmes class that Reverend Laura was teaching, we were in deep meditation. And I had already heard the call of Spirit, the call of my life, that I was called to ministry at that point. And we were sitting in this quiet meditation, and all of a sudden, I'm standing on a platform, and there is a wall of windows behind me with trees. So when I first came to this community, just to visit as a guest speaker, when I first came to this community in October, for a Joel Goldsmith conference, in October of 2017, I walked through those doors, I saw that window, and I saw that tree, which did have leaves on it at the time. Sorry, come back in the spring. It's really, really beautiful then. And I saw it, and I knew that I was home. I knew that I was home, just as Reverend Leslie sang about. I knew that I was home. And we were at the back there, and Jeannie, where did you go? There you are, my dear. I was standing there and hugging and greeting everybody, and Jeannie goes, "Would you be interested in candidating here?" And I said, "Sure." She turned around and whacked Mike and goes, "Hear that?" So it's their fault that I'm here, Riverside. There you go. It's also Reverend Rhonda Tretzman's fault and Tony's fault for continuing to nurture that. So, but I want to thank Mike, and I want to thank the core council of that time for taking a chance on me, for saying yes. So thank you for being here and giving me the opportunity and giving us the opportunity to be together. So through visioning, back to that. Through visioning, last summer, what was revealed was this. We were sitting in the visioning class, and a couple of us had this thing come through, and one of them was Stuart, Dinah's husband, and we were there, and we were there, and it was like the rain cross, the Riverside symbol, combined with the teaching symbol, the science of mind teaching symbol. That kept coming through. And so then Jeannie does this little scribble, and that's what you see behind me up there. And how it got there was Margaret, who's way back there. Hi, Margaret. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Margaret is a graphic designer friend, and she was able to take what Jeannie did, the rough mock-up that Jeannie did, and then create, and you see it all over now. So Riverside, you haven't seen that before. What did you think when you came in? Yeah. So for those of you who are non-Riversiders, that's okay. For those of you who are non-Riversiders, yeah, sorry. But no, the rain cross is a much beloved symbol here, and it's a very meaningful symbol here in Riverside. And the top part there is the dragonfly. It's the symbol, the Native American symbol for the dragonfly, which once I found that out, I was like, well, of course that's why I'm here now. But it represents the dragonfly. The dragonfly is about water, it's about fertility, and it's about transformation. And then the bottom part there that usually has a bell is taken from the mission bells. And so combined, it is the rain cross symbol. And the mission bells, the missions, well, it's a very So, while from our 20th century eye, our 21st century eyes, can see the tragedies that occurred during the California mission period. Because on whose ground do we stand is but on the Native American ground. And so while we recognize the tragedies, we also recognize that mission is also a way of sharing information, of sharing power, of sharing love. And the symbol on the inside, for those of you who might not be familiar with that symbol on the inside, that is what we call our teaching symbol. Our teaching symbol, the round circle, is it's the totality and the eternality and the immortality of the one life of God. Means that it is all that there is. The V is the movement of spirit into form and form returning to spirit. And then the lines going across, the top area there is spirit. It is God. The middle is mind or law, and the bottom is form. And so if we take it from a more Christian perspective, what you have is you have Father, Holy Ghost, and Son. And then it's open at the top, meaning that Spirit is always continuing to reveal itself. So when this idea came through, this had already come through. Our focus statement. What is our focus statement? We embolden people to live our highest potential through the transformative power of love. Transformation, right there at the top. What are we teaching here? Oneness, love. That's right there in the center. And what are we going to do with it? We're going to walk in love, and we're going to take it out of these doors and into the greater community. Yes? Yes. And we're already doing that here. We've already begun this powerful work because, as Reverend Dr. Michael Gott says, faith without works isn't dead. Faith without works isn't faith. And so this year, what we have is we have the year of spirituality in action. So here at Riverside Community Center for Spiritual Living, we are not just sitting on our meditation cushions, right? We know that prayer works. We know that thoughts and prayers do work, but that is not enough. Where do we go first? Of course, to our thoughts and prayers. And then, as my beloved over here, Reverend Leslie says, we first pray up and then we step up. So it is up to us to step out in love, to walk in love. And we are already doing that with our coalitions, our partnerships that we have formed with The Inland Congregations United for Change, and the Interfaith Movement for Human Integrity, and DANA, the Downtown Area Neighborhood Association, and DMB, the Downtown Magnolia Brockton Clergy Group, and many, many more. We are partnering with the Riverside Resistance Revival Chorus. We're partnering with wonderful folks in our community, working together to lift Riverside in love. Because at every single meeting that I go to, anywhere I go in the city, is that everybody always says, Riverside is a leader. Riverside is poised to take action. Riverside is poised to be the example. And I say amen to that. And so some of you might be freaking out about the collar a little bit. See a practitioner, that's what they're there for. They will help you know the spiritual truth, okay? But for those of you that are really worried about it, don't worry, I got my socks on. And tomorrow it'll be Aloha shirts all over again, okay? But part of the reason for the collar is because the type of work that we're doing in the world and going out and visiting detainees in Adelanto, asylum seekers in Adelanto, and going to the border and doing this thing we are very much in the public face, we're very much in the public sphere, we're very much in the public eye, and we have to be visible. For far too long, our centers have been invisible, if you will. And so this is a statement of our visibility. We at Riverside are taking our place on the stage, on the global stage, right up front with our brothers and sisters and siblings of our faith traditions, our other faith traditions in this city. And we're making a difference. Over 40 children, over 40 foster kids had Christmas this year because of this community. 150 people joined here last year for a prayer vigil for Families Belong Together, right here. We're doing great work in the world, and it's only going to get better. Because we are walking in love. We're walking in love, us, together as a community. So thank you all who have come and joined us here this day. Riverside, take a look at this room. This is a mental equivalent. You got your work to do. Pick up the phone and call folks. I love you. I look forward to being with you. Ed and I both look forward to being with you, finally on a full-time basis. I love you.
So we are coming to the close of our ceremony, and on behalf of Reverend Jeffrey, I thank all of you for being here. In just a moment, we'll have our benediction, and then the marvelous Amy Steinberg is going to sing for us. And as Amy is doing her wonderful music, the recessional will begin, and Reverend Jeffrey, we'll let you start that off. When you're ready to go, we follow you. Okay, please allow the folks with robes on to go out first. All right? Are we ready? And so to do our benediction now, please let us welcome Reverend Michelle.
No, not yet.
What?
Sorry, I'm singing first.
What?
Oh.
Okay, good. So I can leave. I can get
Sorry.
off. I can leave now. But when does okay? So you're going to come up after this for the benediction. Is that right? All right.
Thank you, Reverend Doctor. It is truly an honor and a blessing to be here with all of you. And Rev Jeff asked me to write a rap for him based on all of that you just saw. So I'm going to try to do this, and then I'm going to sing you a song, okay? So, sorry to I didn't, it's mine. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you the beat box. Wait, let me give it to you, dude. Thank you. And you can keep it a little down. And can we turn this up so we can hear it? Thank you. 2, 2, check, check, 1, 2. Can you hear it? I want you to hear this because I want you to remember this day in rhyme. In the name of love, Rev Jeff, we say hooray. You're the excuse for the party today. We commit with our word as we have all learned. Capital T, truth spoken by Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn. From Vegas, Utah, Temecula too, we come together to travel this journey with you. From all over the world, folks send comments and congrats. Seriously though, the crowd here is all the big cats. Rev Leslie sings you home and in love we walk. Rev Laura calls you a mystic heart when she talks. The Christ in you reflects the Christ in me. This message was brought to you from Reverend Colleen. We got a vision and principles here in CSL New Thought. I know you're ready for this. Good God, it's a lot. But you got the call, and so now you're being installed. It's all beautiful and powerful and divine. Y'all say cheers to Ed for the love we stand, because behind every great man, there's usually a great man. Reverend Carol belts out the love for you. To all of the questions Rev Sharon asked, you said I do. Yeah, all right. Little beat break so I can catch my breath. Holla for the collar, Rev Jeff, so fun. Honey, you look good in the orange of the sun as it shines through the windows and the empty trees while you stand on the stage. This land is holy. Hey, what a day. I'm just waiting for Ernest Holmes to appear. Congratulations, Rev. Love lives here. That was for you. And now, a song. Yeah, congratulations. Shine, be glorious. Reflect the divine. Shine. Reflect the divine spirit of mine, spirit divine. Let me shine your light, yeah. I open my heart, even in the dark. The light of my God always shines bright, even in the night. Shine, be glorious. Reflect the divine. Shine, be glorious. Reflect the divine spirit of mine, spirit divine. Let me shine your light. Let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel of love. Sing that with me. Let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel vessel of love. I open my heart this miracle day. The love of my God gives me it all, the good I can take. I said, shine, be glorious, reflect the divine. Oh, shine, be glorious, reflect the divine. Spirit of mine, Spirit divine, let me shine your light. Oh, let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel of love. Let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel. Let me be a vessel of love. Shine, be glorious, reflect the divine. Shine.
Thank you.
Oh my. I almost have no words. I'm sure I can find a few. Can you feel it in here? Oh, wow. Woo, let's just drink that in. Oh, let's breathe that in. The resonance of celebration, of joy, of love. Oh, come on, breathe it in. Oh. So join with me. In deep gratitude for this glorious celebration, this glorious coming together of leadership and community, weaving together in their beautiful, expansive, loving presence. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, hold with me in deep gratitude every hand that has contributed to this glorious event, to this deep, loving, glorious event. Every voice, every word, every foot, every heart, every person who has contributed to this event, we just hold deep gratitude for them and so much more. Thank you, Reverend Kathy Hearn. Thank you, Reverend Sharon Hudson. Thank you. Every minister who is here, who has brought their loving contribution, thank you. Every person who has walked through the door and brought their light to participate in this event, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you especially, Reverend Jeffrey, who for his glorious yes. And thank you, Riverside Community CSL, for their glorious yes, saying yes to being that expansive presence of light and love in the world. Oh, for this and so much more, we simply say thank you. We relax into knowing that all is well. Everything continues in the celebration, and each person makes their way home knowing all is well. For everyone has said yes. And so it is. So it is.
So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. Sing it with me. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. So rich. again. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. Heck yeah. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. So filthy, stinking rich. Hey! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh. Dripping in joy, dripping in peace, dripping in love. We have everything we need. Dripping in joy, dripping in peace, dripping in love. We have everything we need. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. Grat-tat attitude spilling on my veins, digging on the decadence, goodness reigns. Queen bee being on the throne of ease, rich with infinite potentiality. We think money has value. Listen, it's paper and metal, electronic transmission. We get what we give. We are unique, we breathe. Cannot just give, cannot just receive. There's a law of circulation, money secondary. You have an essence only you can carry. As I advance on my journey, I see there is a power for good and it can use me. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are, yeah. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich. Dripping in joy, dripping in joy, peace, dripping in peace, love, dripping in love. We have everything we need. Dripping in joy, dripping in peace, dripping in love. We have everything we need. You see, 'cause we are so rich. All right, drum solo, take it away. Hey, let's hear from the bass player for a minute. You guys have a monster band here in Riverside, y'all. What's happening? Give it up for the musicians today, y'all. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. Here we go. So rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich, so rich we are. So we are so rich, yeah, yeah. Two times.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
What an honor to be here, my goodness.